Recording started.
All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Free Association. It's Sunday afternoon in Newcastle. Well, it's early evening, 6:30 on Sunday evening. Yesterday was the time change from GMT to British Summer Time, so we're officially 6:30 p.m. British Summer Time now, which means that I lost an hour's sleep this morning, and I'm not happy about it. But I did sleep until about noon anyway, so I caught up on it all. I was awake half the night, though, to be fair. So, what do I want to talk about today? Again, I'm interested in Reaper. I've got a couple of audio, digital audio workstations that I'm looking at. Reaper is the one that I'm spending the most time with because there's a lot of tutorial videos around. So I'm watching a lot of videos about how to do certain things. I'm playing with plugins, I'm playing with compressors, I'm playing with multiband EQ and things like that. Things I know absolutely nothing about. But at some point I will know something about them and I'll be able to use them and I'll know what I'm doing. So I'm in the I don't really know anything kind of phase at the moment, which is fun because it's a good place to be. It's full of surprises. The I don't really know anything phase. So I would expect by the end of this year, probably about 9 months' time, I'll be able to say that I know something about audio production, or at least I know enough about audio production to be able to produce my own podcasts, special reports, or whatever. So I'm giving myself about 9 months. We're in March now, so yeah, 9 months. By Christmas, let's call it Christmas, so it's exactly 9 months. Then I should be able to say that I know what I'm doing. And so that's 1 month. I'm going to have to work this out as an official timetable. So it's 1 month per thing. So I'll work it out. Compression. So basic editing, setting up Reaper. I'm not quite there yet, but I've set it up mostly the way I want it. I've got a basic functional workflow that seems to work all right and is reasonably quick. It's relatively quick to just go in and hunt and peck and cut things out. That's easy enough to do. Moving things around is easy enough to do. Getting it all in position and then sending it off to be a WAV file, rendering is easy enough to do. I haven't messed about on very many settings as yet, but I've got it working with a cheap Chinese audio interface that I bought. So I've now got a setup in the living room as well as a setup in the kitchen and a portable setup. So I'm 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 there pretty much. I've got what I want. I've got monitor speakers in the living room, so I can review what I'm doing as almost in real time. Not quite real time, but almost real time in here. I can do the radio show with the Rodecaster Pro 2 from the kitchen. I did it from here yesterday because most of what I was doing was recorded yesterday. So it's going to be relatively easy to take a portable setup with me and take the laptop, take the PodTrack P4 with me, or take this little Chinese audio interface with me, and a microphone stand, and just do a show from anywhere that I happen to be at 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. So that would be the next thing that I'm looking at doing. Destination 1850 served me well for the last year. I'm looking at maybe doing a show from a place called Fifth Quarter, which is a cocktail bar and coffee shop, which is in the old mining institute in Newcastle, which is now called the Common Room. They've turned it into a charity and redone the building. Spent about £7 million on the building, updating it. So they've got a lecture room downstairs, and they've got a big meeting room upstairs. A couple of big meeting rooms, I think. I saw one of them upstairs, which has got stained glass windows, which is just gorgeous. So the building goes back to about 1870 or 1850, something like that. It's right next to the Literature and Philosophy Library in Newcastle, which again is another gorgeous building, which they're not open on a Saturday afternoon, but I'd like to be able to do a radio show from there at some point. I don't know how well that'll set up. It might work if I can find another time, morning time or during the day, and set something up from there that's an hour's show. Yeah, as long as I've got recorded material that I can use, I don't mind adding shows in. When this material that I'm recording at the moment builds up, then I'll be able to reuse it in different combinations, in different shows, and update it as I'm going along. So it'll become kind of it becomes Lego, but audio Lego. That's the way that I want to set this up, so that it becomes easy just to clip things together, slot things together into a 15-minute segment on a show, or a half an hour segment if it's a bigger topic, or 45 minutes even. But I think half an hour is about right, because it gives me 10 minutes at the beginning that's live and 10 minutes at the end that's live, 15 minutes at the beginning maybe. And that works as a format for me for an hour show. And I like recording 5-minute blocks. I've discovered over the last week that I like recording 5-minute blocks of audio and putting them together, which I didn't know. I really didn't know until I've just sat down and thought about it for a little while and then tried it out. And it seems like this is the way that I want to work. It's also an easy way to kind of teach people how to do stuff as well. It makes sense if people are new, they might want to talk for England, but it may not be wise that they talk for England initially. Let's get some actual content together before you start talking for 2 hours on a radio show. That might just be my approach, but I think there's a lot of people doing shows that are very, very repetitive, and they're doing shows from anger, which is not the way that I do shows. I do my shows from love and respect. That's the place that I'm at. And even when I'm criticizing people, it's coming from a good place. I'm trying to keep it as emotion-free as possible, but sometimes there's a little bit of anger or resentment creeps in. But it's mostly from a place of love and respect. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to do these a bit more regularly, I think, this week. Now that I've got this setup done properly in the living room, I might get back to doing regular videos again. You never know. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow, or maybe a bit later this evening.